Welcome back to the Phantom Gourmet. Here's a sad fact. A bunch of the high-end steakhouses in Boston right now are charging $30, $40, and sometimes $50 for a sirloin, and you got to pay extra for sides. But thankfully, there are still some places out there like Frank's in Cambridge. How much would you pay for tender filet mignon, thick-cut prime rib, or a sizzling sirloin? If you're dining at Frank's Steakhouse, you'll be shelling out a lot less than you think, because owner George Ravanis believes in serving great steak at a great value. Opened in 1938 on Mass Ave in Cambridge, Frank's is the oldest steakhouse in Greater Boston. And while the prices here are about half of what you'd pay at the other city steakhouses, the quality takes a backseat to no one.
We'll match our steak against anybody in the city of Boston. I mean, it's outstanding.
The steaks come with sides and cost about $18. Appetizers like fresh garlic bread, smothered bacon cheese fries, and gooey French onion soup ring in at around $6. And a warm brownie sundae with vanilla ice cream and hot fudge is only $3.95. Everything at Frank's is so ridiculously affordable, customers are always curious why they don't raise the prices.
So we're not greedy people. We've made a nice living, and there's no point in screwing people over. We know what we've got, we know what we are, and people thank us for it. It's pretty cool.
And we're joined now by George Ravanis from Frank's Steakhouse. So you're George, and the place is Frank's Steakhouse. So I guess the first question is, who is Frank?
I have no idea.
How can the owner of Frank's not know who Frank is?
Well, the place has been there since 1938. My dad got it in 1974.
Yeah.
And we said, look, the place is a busy place. It's got a great name and reputation. He said, let's make it work. We did, and it's just too damn expensive to change the signs. We kept it at Frank's.
All right, so I won't call it George's. We'll call it Frank's. Now, we have to talk about the dish that made Frank's famous. I mean, from the beginning, I think the #1 reason people go to Frank's is the Sizzler, the New York Sizzler sirloin. What is this thing?
The Sizzler is our top sirloin. It's a full-pound, boneless cut New York sirloin, and we serve it on a hot metal platter, so it makes some noise when it comes out of the kitchen, and it's pretty cool, too, because it comes out of the kitchen, people in the dining room start looking around, they smile when it hits the table. You know, we're in Cambridge, so you got the non-smoking people that start making scenes.
Yes, but that's the only smoking allowed in
Greater
Boston is the Sizzler sirloin.
We just tell them to inhale, all right, and then they're okay.
I have inhaled the New York sirloin. I inhaled, and I really enjoyed it with steak sauce and everything. Now, you have the Sizzler sirloin. That's #1, right? 99% of the time I've gone to Frank's, I've got the sirloin. One time, I got a filet mignon. And I don't even know why I did it, because I don't even like filet mignon. I got to say, you're making me rethink my thoughts on filet mignon, because this thing is delicious.
Thank you. No, the filet is an expensive cut because it's a very lean cut. It has very little marble in it. It's very tender, but it has no flavor whatsoever.
Right, exactly.
And that's why it's always served in restaurants with a certain kind of sauce, whether it be a béarnaise or a mushroom sauce or something like that. We serve a béarnaise butter, if you will. It's a tarragon butter that we serve over with a taste that's similar to a béarnaise sauce. So when you get the filet mignon, it's going to have a little bit of flavor to it. It's going to be tender. You're going to cut through it. You could use a spoon, and you'll really enjoy it.
You know, now my head is spinning. I'm thinking, give me the tarragon butter and put that on the Sizzler. I'm going to invent that myself. Could you do that?
You're not the first.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted you to know.
All right, now filet, you know, I'm trying to keep it light, as you know, so I like a filet without any fat. But when I want to just go for it, I want all the flavor, I want a huge hunk of meat, prime rib is the thing to get at Frank's, I think. That's a big one.
Let me tell you, my staff, who works a lot of hours, I get the best staff in the world, honest to God, they come in on their nights off to have prime rib at Frank's. It's that good. I mean, they know they can get it other places. It is just a darn good piece of meat. It's huge. It's flavorful. We slow roast it for hours. There's probably about 14 or 15 different spices that go on the outside when we slow roast it. And it really is the best prime rib you will have anywhere, honest to God.
Now, I remember coming into Frank's as a little kid. My dad, we used to drive, lived on the North Shore, and my dad loved Frank's. We would drive there. We would show up. We would sit down at the table, and the waiter or waitress knew what he wanted for an appetizer. They would just bring him an onion loaf. I grew up, my love of onion rings stemmed from this onion loaf. It's different from typical onion rings, right?
Right. Well, it is onion rings, but we pack them. We pack them tight. We had a special basket made. We saw Norm on Cheers. He got to the Hungry Heifer one time. He came back. He's belching, and everybody's going, what's going on? He's smiling. He says, had the onion loaf at the Hungry Heifer. I said, We got to do it. We got to find a way. We welded metal together. We had a basket made, and we just packed the onions in, and we made an onion loaf, and the rest is history.
If it's good enough for Norm, it's good enough for me. George Ravanis, Frank's Steakhouse, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Mass Ave in Cambridge, everybody. Get in there and get your